All right, here we go. September 28th. Lots of excitement going on in the world here. Uh, I was on a webinar with the people from Kartra this week, and they are unleashing a whole bunch of new stuff. Different pricing programs, different plans. I mean, they have some really big ideas to conquer the world with Kartra. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things that they're just about ready to unleash, I've got to see it, but nobody else has, is it's analytics. They're building analytics into everything. And I know they have basic analytics, but now you can do like funnel mapping. And if any of you guys are familiar with the product called Guru, Guru was a funnel mapper where you could plug your numbers in and then you could see your conversion ratios. You could see how much profits you were going to make. And then if you tweaked conversion ratios in any piece of the puzzle, you could see on the other end how it was going to affect your profits. Now that's really exciting, but that is pure speculation. So what Kartra has done is they already have kind of a basic funnel mapper together, but it's just for building funnels. It's not for analytics. What's about to roll out in the next week or so is they're going to turn that basic funnel mapper that's built into it into a full-blown analytics program. So you could literally look at your funnel and you could see the conversion ratios in every piece, every step through the funnel, and visual. You could just physically look at your screen and you can say, oh my God, a bunch of people are going to my splash page, my landing page, but they're not opting in. Or a bunch of people are opting in, but they're not taking the offer. Or a bunch of people are getting to email number 3 and then not going to email number 4, or they're not watching my video, or this or that. And you will be able to see visually exactly where your holdups are. So that is incredibly powerful and very exciting. It's not something that was on my radar as far as like a wish list or anything, but oh my God, when I saw it, it was just like, that is freaking amazing. I just realized I didn't have my camera on here, so I wasn't hiding from you guys. I just forgot to turn it on. But anyway, that is really cool. Another thing that they're doing too is they're really going to push their affiliate program. So if you guys are interested in that, I can help connect the dots for you and get you into their affiliate program. Big announcement for them. You do not have to be a paying member of Kartra now to be in their affiliate program. That one I fought tooth and nail for to get that. And they finally agreed with me and they fixed that problem. So, because I know a lot of people, they would sign up and they would get the affiliate link and then they would cancel out of Kartra and then that would blow up their affiliate. So that's no longer an issue. That one has been taken care of. And another thing too, like I said, they're really pushing to launch this and really roll it out and gain market share. So they're doing some incredible discount packages for new members. And they're also pumping their affiliate commissions. Like they have a tiered affiliate commission. So if you're new, you're going to be on the lowest rung tier, but on this new promo, when they roll it out, they're actually going to pay a higher commission rate I think for the first year of like 50%. So that's going to be a huge incentive to get new affiliates in and drive them. And you guys know how I feel about that. I mean, most of my business comes from affiliates. You treat them right, you pay them well, and they promote your stuff for you. And to me, that is like the ultimate way to grow your business, is have a bunch of people that are advocates for you, that are pushing and promoting and making money. That is the key. If they're not making money, they're not going to push very hard. If they're making money and you're sending them a check every month, or every week or whenever you want to do it. I guarantee you, money motivates people. Money is a big motivator, and especially when it stops. Like I've had some of my affiliates, their commissions, they trickle off after a while. There's attrition. There's always attrition in any kind of an ongoing program. So when they trickle off, their checks get less and less every month. So it's a really cool thing. And this is one of my most effective lines is I'll contact them. I'll either email them or text them or message them and say, hey, I'm really bummed. I want to send you more money. I'm really feeling like I'm not feeling good about the amount of money I'm sending you. I want to send you more. That really gets their attention. And instead of coming on, like I could do it a different way. I could come on and say, hey, let's do another promo. That doesn't sound the same as, hey, I want to send you more money. I'm not happy with the amount of money you're getting. That gets their attention. That is an attention grabber. So obviously, you know how they're going to do that, right? That's another promo. It's just a different way of asking for it. So understanding what your avatar is thinking, what their language is, so you can speak and communicate to them is really, really important. And when you're talking about affiliate marketers, I guarantee money is the core of all of their desire. So telling them that you want to send them more money is music to their ears. So anyway, that's the big news about Kartra and all of that. And Mr. Chris here, he has taken the videos that I made for him, and he has gone in and he discovered that I was right, and he can actually do this. Paint by numbers, you can build a Kartra site, a Kartra funnel, anything you want in Kartra. It literally is point and click, and there are no technical skills required. There's process required. There's following instructions required. So if you can't follow a process or instructions, Kartra is probably not for you. But if you can, and it's all simple stuff, there's really nothing, there's no math, I don't think. Was there any math, Chris? No.
Just counting the money when it rolls in. That's the only math that's involved.
There's no math or science involved in it. It literally is point and click. But again, I want you guys to understand that Kartra or any program, it's not in the front end of your process. It's in the middle. You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand who you're selling to. You have to understand what they want, why they want it, and how you're going to deliver that result. Because you cannot build a marketing campaign without that information. It's just not going to work. I mean, you can build it, but it's not going to work. If you cannot communicate your value, and your value is going to be based on who you're talking to, because people want different things. So you've got to, that's where the segmentation of the market comes in. I'm going to show you guys a prompt, an AI prompt that will do a lot of the brunt work for you. Like you guys know, you've all been through the ACT program. You know the pain involved in the analysis piece. Doing that research, figuring out, your market segments, figuring out how to talk to them, figuring out what's in their head. All that stuff has been incredibly difficult for everyone, myself included. And the prompt that I'm going to show you guys kind of solves all of that. It kind of takes the whole analysis piece and puts it into one prompt, which who wants something like that, right? I know I'm incredibly lazy, so that is very appealing to me. And this is one of the things that I'm going to create a new event around. I'm going to create a new event around AI, how to use AI in marketing, and more specifically, how to use AI in the ACT program. So I'll be sharing, these prompts with the inside this new program that I'm putting together. So, and initially, I know some of you won't be able to take the new program because it is going to be delivered, guess where? On my boat. So I'm going to take a handful of people as a test, probably over to Catalina for a couple or 3 days. And we're just going to have some fun. We're going to try something new and we're going to see what comes out of it. But it's all going to be geared around using AI to do the heavy lifting, all the analysis, creating your whole marketing campaign, all the context of it, all the communication. So that's what's coming up. Really cool. I'll share some of the prompting with you guys here in a minute. But there's another thing, and I saw this product quite some time ago, and I pushed it aside. I didn't pay attention to it. But after having used it a couple of times, I'm getting more and more sold on it. And I know some of you guys are really hooked on Zoom. I know you like Zoom. Zoom has kind of been our beta. That was what came into the market and everybody jumped onto it because it was easy. It's not necessarily cheap unless you're going through one of the discount programs like I've turned a lot of people onto. But it's been fairly solid. It's had its problems and its glitches and all that, but it's limited. And I don't have anything bad to say about Zoom other than who owns it. It's so I'll leave it at that. For those of you that know who owns it, if not, I'm not going to bash them. But anyway, that said, it has limitations for marketing. Like one of the bigger problems I've seen is like we'll be talking about something and somebody wants a URL. So we'll type it in the chat and half the people on here don't know how to open the chat. That's a limitation. And then all of a sudden, it's in the chat. And then 2 minutes later, there's 10 responses in the chat and then the link's gone. Not ideal. It's not ideal for marketing. If you're doing marketing and you're putting on a presentation and you really want to be effective, you need to make things easy. So the program that I'm talking about, it's called Meetin, like meet, MEET, and then N, Meetin. And it's a browser based. So that's another technical challenge that I've run into with people that have not used Zoom before is they got to install the software. And that throws a lot of people that are non-techies for a loop. With Meetin, all you literally have to do is open a browser window and put the URL in or click a link and the browser window opens automatically and you're in the meeting. That's it. There's no technical experience required. So if you are dealing with newbies and you're having problems with them, even if you're just doing like one-on-one appointments, a lot of times with the one-on-one appointments, if it's new to the other person, like if you're dealing with consumers, not business people, and you're trying to get them on a meeting on Zoom, they're going to have to install the software. And if you're expecting them to be on at a certain point in time and they click the link to go and get into the meeting at that point, it's probably going to take them 10 or 15 minutes to figure it out. So with this, they click the link and boom, they're in the meeting. Now, inside the meeting, the presenter, if this is your meeting room, you have all the controls and functionality to put calls to action right on the screen. Like it's a normal meeting like this where we can see each other and then you can do screen share, but at any given point, you can actually put call to action buttons right on the screen. So they don't have to look for chat. They don't have to open up another window to find something. The button literally is right there in their face. And you just say, hey, click the button if you want to take advantage of this. Or if you want to download my free book, just click the button on the screen. So from a marketing perspective, it has a lot of advantages. From a cost perspective, it's far cheaper than Zoom. I know some of you guys got in on the Zoom, the enterprise Zoom deal for $9.95, or I think it's $12.99 now. And if you got in on that, that's awesome. It's a really good deal for Zoom, and Zoom is what it is. It's great. But this might give you, a better solution as far as doing your business, depending on your business model. Your business model might be perfectly fine with Zoom and you're good. But for those of you that, that haven't got that and are just kind of getting started up, or you're having trouble with Zoom because of the tech part of it, this might be a good solution for you. So I have cut a deal with the producer of this where I can get you the whole enchilada with the webinar system and everything, and it's $19.95 a month. So if you go to their site, you're going to pay $49.95 a month. But if you get it through my link, you can get it for $19.95. Now, if we were on Meetin, I could put the call to action button up on the screen, but we're in Zoom. So I'm going to have to put it in the chat, and I'll do that for you guys right now. I'll go in here.
Hey, John, is this something that we can do some other time if we're not having any problems with Zoom and still get the...
Absolutely. This will be a standard deal. It's not like a one-time thing. It's not a, get it now or it's gone. This is just something that will be available to everybody anytime through this link. So it's internetdominators.com/Meetin, MEETN.
Very cool.
So if you haven't seen it, check it out. There's 3 levels. You can get a free account. Then there's just a meeting account, which is $9.95 a month. And then there's the full-blown webinar account, which you get everything. And you'll see if you go to that page, it's got the 3 different offers. But try the free one. Just play around with it. Schedule a meeting with somebody and see how they like it. Get somebody that is used to Zoom and just see how they like that. Because again, you don't have the Zoom window open. It's just in a browser. You don't have the constant drop off thing where, like, for a long time, every time I would open up to screen share with Zoom, I'd get kicked off. You guys probably remember that. I'd have to log back in and start the meeting over. So there's none of those issues with the Meetin because it's just right through a browser. So any questions or anything? I know I've covered a lot of stuff that new stuff, cool stuff. Any questions before we get on? I know you guys want to see that prompt. And
John, what I'd really like to know is, where is the $2 leads program? Because I also had some ideas as I've been working on it here, is hoping actually that you're excited enough about your new software that you're going to create things like that. You created a great video for the SEO boost that we could then all go and pirate and that sort of thing. I would think that if you're looking at making $250,000 a month with your $2 leads, that you should actually put together a complete marketing plan for that target audience that you love so much. And I was hoping that you would do that and make it available to us so that we wouldn't have to individually multiple times recreate a similar program. Is there any possibility that maybe you might be interested in doing that? I know that going to Catalina and your boat for the other program sounds like fun stuff, but get $2 leads rolled out and getting and having a head start on it by having some basic, like, and I will say, John, with not and I don't mean this bad because, I've been around with you, I've been online with you now, what, 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
It's that you do have a lot great things that you put out there, but the sales materials that you provide for essentially affiliates to do the affiliate marketing, they aren't always as complete as one might like. And I was hoping for
Oh.
this program, you might actually do the whole enchilada. Am I being realistic or unrealistically hopeful about that?
I totally feel your pain, Richard. And it's really, I mean, it totally comes down to me. That is, I mean, I gotta take acceptance of the fault there. And it is purely due to my laziness. When I'm like lightning. I take the path of least resistance. So like the way I make a whole bunch of money with affiliates is I'm reaching out to affiliates that know how to promote me more than I know how to promote myself. And when I do that, it makes it so easy on me. All I have to do is show up and give the webinar. And I'm really good at that. So they do the rest, they do the promos, they do the emails, all that stuff. And it's allowed me to be really lazy. And I know it hurts the ones like you because I'm not doing my job of creating those materials because I don't have to. I've got other people creating that stuff for me. So I get what you're saying. The idea is you're trying to you're trying for lack of a better term, some of you are going to like this, some of you might not. You're trying to pull a jackass without a rope.
Absolutely.
And it's a very hard thing to do.
We need a jackass rope wrangler, and you're the guy that we come to every week for that, John. And we're just hoping to get it. Given that I have been absolutely obsessed with the $2 lead program in terms of the marketing opportunity because
it's
you have offered up to us one of the a product that fits within one of the big things that you've been touting is the convergence of quantum computing, AI, and I just had a senior moment with that third thing, but I mean, blockchain is that I see that this could be as big as that in the lead generation business. And if we're first to market, right now there's a whole lot of cars built a whole lot more technically and quality wise better than a Rolls Royce, but people still always say it's Rolls Royce quality. It's always first to market. And John, you're first to market with a situation here that literally could turn everybody on this call into a millionaire inside of a year if you would put together a really good programming package that is as good at marketing as you are for this. And if you're making your 25 cents a lead, I'm sorry, you're going to be well over $1 million a month if you turn this loose and actually do it. But I don't know how greedy you are, and I'm hoping we really can pump those greed glands for you and have you put together that stuff for us or work with us to help do that. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
When it comes to the balance beam of greed and laziness, it could tip either way. But
I second everything John said. Richard said.
Here's the thing that I have discovered. And I discovered this by, again, positioning myself at the right place at the right time. And this is just like, you guys should really take note of the way I think about this stuff. I am always thinking when it comes to business and it comes to my lifestyle and just, the way I am, the primary thing that I am always thinking is how am I going to get the most out of doing the least? Seriously, that is like one of my just basic routine programs that just constantly runs in my mind. Everything I look at is how can I get the most out of doing the least? Automation. Automation is very sexy to me. The idea of having people promote me so I don't have to, very sexy to me. the idea of having to do a bunch of work, not really knowing if something's going to pan out. Like, for instance, I could spend the next 2 months building out everything that you could possibly imagine. And I've done this before in the past, and to my surprise, nobody did anything with it. So I put out a massive effort and I got such a small return, it was not worth it. And it's almost like that puts a big block, a big mental block in me to do that kind of stuff. And I know it's not what you want to hear, but listen to me here of what I did with this program. Like, my initial goal was to sell 1 million leads a month and make a quarter a piece, right? So when I entered into this, it was like, okay, that's my goal. How am I going to do this without killing myself? Because that's a monumental task, right? Selling 1 million of anything is a monumental task. But going back to that core thing, how am I going to get the maximum effort or the maximum output out of the minimum amount of effort? So what I did, I put myself in a room of people that I know are big thinkers. And this was at Perry Belcher's event, at the AI event. I also positioned time on his stage where I could seed this out to those people. I know not everyone in his room is a multimillionaire, but there is a high percentage of the asses in his seats that are multi-millionaire business owners. They're doing tens of millions of dollars of business a month. They're the kind of people that are going to buy not just a handful of leads. They're not the kind of people that go and figure out, how do you make a money printing machine and let's put $100 a day in. They're like, okay, I have a money printing machine. Who's going to loan me $1 million to stuff down its throat every month? And then once they do that, where am I going to get the next million so I can do 2 million a month? Those are the kind of thinkers that are in his room. So as I seeded this out, like I do, I got, before the end of the first day, I had 45 people that had texted me wanting to basically lay at my feet to get access to this thing. And over the next 3 days, I had, and this was no effort on my part, I did 5 minutes on his stage and walked away. I got them following me. I didn't go up and try and present to anyone individually. I did the one thing, I threw the bomb off the stage and walked away to see who was going to follow me. I got out of that room of people, it was probably about 400 people in the room. In the next 3 days, I had no less than 10 really, really good meetings of lead generation companies that are chomping at the bit. They're buying like 100,000 leads a day to resell them. So I think I'm going to do my 1 million a month out of that one room, that 5-minute bomb I threw. So for the idea to me to work for a couple of months to build out a whole bunch of marketing material so people could sell 10, 100. You see what I've got in my way of doing what you'd like me to do, Richard. And I know you don't like that. And I know it's greedy and it's self-serving for me. And you're probably thinking, God damn, that son of a bitch. But I want you to get the thought process. The thought process is what makes me who I am. It's what makes things so easy for me. It's everything. So when you look at it in that perspective, if this was asked of you how would you take it? So, and all that said, I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, because I do have a soft spot. So,
But you do have access to all those guys that do know how to do that. So that should short stop that. You know, we don't have access to those people, so we can't talk to them. What the best thing that I've come up with this point is reminded that from my earlier profitability consulting days, is that even though I don't know this market, I can hire salespeople that do.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is my current path at looking at hiring some salespeople for the purpose of literally having them educate me. And then I don't need to be educated because they're already doing the sales.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be like in-house affiliates, like, because we still don't know all what's behind the curtain on that wonderful $2 leads software. I mean, we see the basic platform online at this point, but I know that that ain't all.
No.
And that ain't the way it's going to work. But if I can have essentially in-house affiliates, and if I pay salespeople a 50% commission on everything that they sell, I think that'd keep them really, really interested for a long, long period of time. And I'm still making a boatload of money, and I'm not doing the work. So there is that's the shortcut that I've seen at this point. But any other materials or any other insights would certainly be really helpful.
Yeah, and this is also the same lesson that Google has learned. Google has learned this lesson the hard way over the last umpteen years, is to focus on the big volume people that matter, that make a difference. Because if you look at Google's ad program, they've got millions, literally millions of people using their ad network, and 99% of those millions of people are going to buy a couple of clicks. They might spend $100 total, and then they're going to throw in the towel or give up, and they're going to chew up a bunch of support in the process. Whereas Google recognizes there's a handful of people that are going to spend as much money to buy as much inventory as is available. And it comes back to the ideal customer. So it really comes back to that. But the thing here is, all that you need to, like, the difference between somebody new that doesn't have access to opportunities and all that, and one of the big affiliate marketers that knows how to sell stuff and can promote your stuff, and so you don't have to do anything. The only difference between those two people is their marketing prowess. It's how good are they at marketing something. If you learn the ACT program and you want to make a lot of money by marketing products or services, it doesn't even matter if they're your own. In many cases, someone else can make something far better than you. Like, that's been the case in my case in almost all my life. There's always people that can do things better, faster, cheaper. And as long as you know how to market them, you can make the money in the middle without doing hardly any effort at all. So learning this stuff, I've said this since day one, the most important thing, the most valuable skill that you're ever going to get in this life is learning how to sell something. Learning how to market. Marketing is the way that you can sell without selling. You know, because most of us don't like the whole process of selling. It's confrontational. And, you know, there's some people that love it. There's some people that thrive on it. I'm not one of them. I am very non-confrontational. And I think a lot of you guys are. You know, you call yourselves introverts. An introvert is very, very non-controversial. They don't want to have any kind of a conversation because it could go wrong for them. And they just don't want to be in a bad spot. They don't want to put themselves out in harm's way. So marketing allows an introvert to make a lot of money and protect themselves, protect their integrity, because they can stay in the shadows. They can let the marketing speak for them. They're very comfortable with that. And you see, there's a lot of these marketing guys, and I've never prescribed to this, but they call them geeks. The geek is really, really freaking good at what they do. They can fix your computer, but you can't have an intelligent conversation with them. Not saying they're not intelligent. They're just not socially smooth. And that is what makes them an introvert. They don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations. So they don't feel right. Some of them will turn to alcohol to smooth the process. It makes them feel better in a public situation. Like, there's a lot of people, I go places, and the first thing most people have to have is a drink in their hand. And I'm like, I'm not a drinker. If I'm not comfortable, I just don't go there. But a lot of people, they've got to have a drink, and ultimately they don't know when to stop, and they get smashed, and like, how are they going to be effective? It's like, you might as well just stay home. But that's where marketing can bridge that gap. It can make you a superstar in your business without having to talk to a bunch of people. So if that's you, if you're an introvert, the good news is you can win this game. You don't have to go out and put yourself in, and I say in harm's way. There's really no harm in it. Nobody's going to hurt you, but it's just uncomfortable, for your psyche. It's putting your psyche in harm's way. You don't like it. It freaks you out. So that's really good news for you guys. And some of you are very social. Like, this goes back, you can see it in high school. You can see the seeds of it in high school. There's people that group together and hide. And then there's the ones that go out full bore, the athletes, they're in the spotlight. The cheerleaders, they're in the spotlight. They love to schmooze, and they're very good at it. They're very smooth socially. And those people might have an advantage in business if you're talking about sales. Quite often, the geeks are far superior on the technology, and in some cases, even the smarts, the savvy. You might find that the geek is far more savvy than the salesperson, but the salesperson will kick their ass on the sales field. It's like you put a geek up against an athlete on the football field, and who's going to win, right? But if you take those same two people and you put the brain against the muscle in a marketing challenge, guess who's going to win? So it's skill set. This is a skill set. And the beautiful part is, it doesn't matter if you're one or the other. You could be an extrovert or an introvert. This is going to be the most powerful thing you ever learn, is how to do marketing, because the marketing is a multiplier. You can be the greatest salesperson in the world, and you can be working your butt off doing face-to-face meetings and closing at a high close ratio, but you're going to work hard. You're going to burn out. And the smart person is going to figure out how to replicate what you're doing and automate the shit out of it and go sit on a beach and sip Mai Tais. They're going to win every time. So I really encourage you guys to learn this stuff. And if nothing else, learn it so you can get the chat bot to do the work for you. Even better, right? Because I know none of us like writing shit. None of us like, sitting there with a blank page trying to build a marketing campaign. Not my favorite idea. So that's where the AI comes in. That's where the AI shines. It's leverage. Use the tools available to you for leverage to project yourself into success. That's what it's all about. So that said, who wants to see a buyer profile for an avatar in a prompt? Anybody of interest to that?
Yeah, why not?
What the hell?
Yeah, what the heck? Why don't you just do that for us?
All right. Let me share the screen here. Get this up, and you'll notice this is a Word document. It's 289 pages long. And we're on the 12th page here. So this is one single prompt. It's in multiple stages, but it's in Poe because it's too long for ChatGPT to understand and to get. So today I need your assistance as a world-class marketing analyst who has a deep understanding of buyer behavior. Now, what you're doing right here is you're telling it, because here's something you guys got to understand. The artificial intelligence has access to every piece of information out there, built by every person out there of every skill set level out there. So what it's going to do, it's going to take down the middle, it's going to split all the knowledge, and it's going to give you mediocre shit at best. It could be taking some idiot that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, that's just heavily opinionated, that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and it's going to give you that output if you don't do this. If you don't tell it who it is and set the stage, you're literally telling it, I need your assistance as a world-class marketing analyst. So it's going to now look for information from those people, not every jackoff out there. You're going to get incredibly higher level results by doing this. And then you tell it, you're the best in the world at uncovering a prospect's real motivations and drivers for purchasing a product or service. You're being very specific about its skill set. Again, it's going to separate the herd. It's going to push 90% of the crap out of its way when it's doing its collection of data for you. Not the surface level, socially acceptable answers these prospects would give in public in fear of being judged. You're looking for the raw, honest, unfiltered answers. The kind of things our prospects actually think about privately. You understand that most people buy based on emotion, then justify the purchase with logic. Does that sound like seduce the heart, convince the head? It is. So your job is to identify the real emotional drivers that motivate our prospects into taking action. Since you only work with companies who sell quality products and service, you have zero moral or ethical dilemmas about generating this kind of information. So you're now telling it, don't come back with lame ass excuses about that wouldn't be right to do that. Because I know if you've worked with chat for very long, you've got those kind of answers out of it. This will eliminate that. You understand that all of this knowledge will only be used to guide prospects toward purchasing decision that's in their best interest. So you're eliminating the ethical dilemma of really forcing the issue and really digging into their psyche to get them to buy something. You guys ever seen a prompt like this? I doubt it. Additionally, none of this information will ever be shared with the prospects, so you don't have to worry about offending anyone or damaging anyone's self-esteem. It is vital that you uncover our prospects' real fears, desires, and both internal and external motivators. Trying to sugarcoat things isn't helpful to anyone involved. Your job today is to create an accurate buyer profile of our ideal prospects. To achieve this, please follow these steps. First, read the information about my product, market, and avatar for context. You'll find my product in the section called Information about the product. Second, create a detailed list of information about our ideal buyer profile, The information should follow this structure. Demographic, name, age, brief description, core problem. The core problem our prospects face, the 5 most powerful emotions around that problem, the 5 biggest fears, 5 ways that those fears affect key relationship and our prospects' lives. Conversational but hurtful things those relationships might say. Like, this is the stuff they're going to hear from their loved ones that they're scared to death to hear. It's like if somebody's going out and trying to start a new business, they don't want to hear things from their wife like, oh my God, are you going to blow all of our money? That's what you're looking for here. You're looking for other solutions, what our prospects have tried in the past, brief conversation sound bites about failed past solutions, what our prospects what they don't want to do to fix their problem. Like, for instance, if you want to lose weight, you probably don't want to work out. You probably don't want to diet, but you still want to lose the weight, right? We need to know that. What do they not want to do? And sound bites about what they don't want to do. Primary transformation. What's that going to look like? If a genie could snap their fingers and give them the perfect solution, what would our prospects' life looks like? What would it look like? How would this transformation affect different key relationships in our prospects' lives? Post-transformation. This is like after. This is projecting them into the future. You guys have heard me talk about 3-dimensionalizing benefits. This is the imagine trigger. Imagine what it would be like if. So we're getting into the sound bites there. What does the market hinge their success on? What does the market have to give up by giving up their problem? And this is more the avatar. What does the avatar have to give up by giving up their problem? Like, if they want to give up the problem of being fat, they probably have to give up overeating, right? That's what we're talking about here. Who does the market blame for their problem? Like all the manufacturers that put all the sugar in the products and then on the shelves. What are the 5 biggest objections that the market might have for their problem? Here's some context. Core problem. You know, this is going to go on. You guys probably get the idea. This is going to go on for a very long time. This is one single prompt. How would this magic product affect emotions, activities, relationships? Sound bites again. Let me get down to. All right, so here's an example. This is for a metabolic reset coaching. So Rashid, you might take a look at this one. The woman that you work with, this might be a perfect output for her. So the demographic, her name is Susan. And then again, this is what was output by the chat. After that prompt, this is what came out. So the name is Susan. She's 52. Susan is a mother of 2 grown children. She works as an executive assistant and is always busy with her work and family. She's been gaining weight since she hit menopause, and despite trying different diets and workout regimens, she couldn't shed those extra pounds. She's becoming increasingly self-conscious about her body and is desperate for a solution. So this is your avatar profile. You guys have had a lot of trouble with this, coming up with who is your avatar. This prompt will tell you who your avatar is. The core problem our prospects face: struggling with persistent weight gain during menopause despite various efforts to lose weight. The 5 most powerful emotions around that problem: frustration. Here's a soundbite. I've tried everything. Nothing seems to work. This is what they're thinking late at night. This is causing frustration. Embarrassment. These are the emotions. These are the triggers that if you want to sell your shit, you need to tap into these triggers. I feel ashamed of the way I look. That's really powerful. Now, chat will normally not give you this, but we've pre-framed it to give us things that were hurtful, even though we're not going to use them to hurt anybody. So we let it off the hook, so it'll do its job. Desperation. I'll never get back my old body. This is what she wants. She wants her old body back. Remember, I've used the phrase, imagine when you walk into the room and what the people will say about you. And then remember, they use the remember trigger. Remember how good you used to look in the mirror when you were 20 pounds lighter? This is it. It's desperation. You're tapping into desperation here. Fear. What if my health starts deteriorating because of my weight? This is incredibly powerful. The fear of getting cancer or diabetes or heart attack from being overweight. So you've got frustration, embarrassment, desperation, fear, resignation. Maybe this is just part of getting older. She's freaking giving up. She's giving up on her hopes and dreams here. If you tap into these emotions, you are going to sell the living hell out of your stuff. Biggest fears. 5 ways those fears affect key relationships. She avoids social events due to the fear of judgment, impacting her relationship with her friends. Her relationship with her spouse is strained due to her insecurities about her body. She's less engaged to play with her grandchildren due to physical discomfort. She avoids shopping with her daughter because she doesn't want to try on clothes. That's embarrassment right there. She's more irritable at work due to her constant worries about her weight. So it's affecting her work. You know, here's conversational but hurtful things those relationships might say. A friend, Susan, you used to be so active. You've changed. Here's what the spouse might say. Honey, you've really let yourself go. The grandchild, why don't you play with us anymore, Grandma? The daughter, Mom, you don't enjoy shopping anymore? More of a question. Coworker, you seem to be out of breath often these days, Susan. Like, this is the shit she does not want to hear. This is the stuff she's terrified of. You know, what other prospects have tried. You know, brief conversational sound bites about failure. Here's what our prospects don't want to do to fix their problem. They don't want to starve themselves or follow overly restrictive diets. They don't want to spend hours in the gym. They don't want harmful supplements or pills. They don't want to give up their favorite foods completely. They don't want to live life feeling hungry and deprived. So the reason this is important that you understand this is if you're trying to sell a product and you're trying to say that you have to do any of these things, all of a sudden now the heart's going to want the outcome, but the head's going to say, no, we can't do that. We're not doing that. So you're going to fail. If you don't sidestep these things, you're going to fail in your marketing. Brief sound bites about what they don't want to do. I can't live on salads and smoothies alone. So this is stuff you want to say to her that you understand. You don't have to live on salads and smoothies. You repel that stuff, you know? And then here's transformation. If a genie could snap their fingers and give them the perfect solution, Fit into her favorite dress that she used to wear. Feel confident in her body and not shy away from mirrors or photos. Be active and energetic, able to play with her grandchildren without getting winded. Feel attractive and desired by her spouse. Not constantly worry about her health or weight. This is the transformation she's looking for. If you attach this to your product or the outcome of your product or service, you're going to win the game. Okay. So, there's just a lot of stuff about here. Here's the sound bites. I'll contrast what you heard before. This is what she wants to hear from a friend. Susan, you're glowing. You seem so much happier. The spouse, you look amazing, honey. I can't keep my eyes off you. That's what she dreams about hearing. The grandchildren, Grandma, you're so fun and active. The daughter, Mom, you're my shopping partner again. The coworker, Susan, you're so energetic these days. That's the shit she wants to hear from the people around her. All right. So, for the sake of this not taking a couple of hours, I'm just kind of breezing through some of this stuff because you can see we're only on page 33 out of 289 here. This thing's deep, dark, ominous. And the cool thing is, it all came out of chat. Chat did the majority of this. Yeah, you had to write a huge prompt one time. But that prompt can be the key to any market you ever want to enter. Here's submarkets. Here's prompt 2 for the submarkets. Now, please take the above information and segment the market into 3 to 5 probable avatars with slightly different demographics, hopes, dreams, and fears. These are the submarkets within your market. So here's output. Professional women in menopause. And it just gives you the differences. The newly retired woman, again, gives you the differences. Empty nesters. So these are all the women with the weight problem. These are the different segments. You could focus your marketing campaign simply on empty nesters. You take the information from before, you key this into it, and you're there. Single women over 45. These women want a spouse. They can't get it because head problems. They think their weight is going to get in the way, and they're self-conscious. Women with family history of obesity. So here's a woman that's going to blame this on her family genes, right? It's real to her. So you have to do the claim proof benefit to reverse her belief. This is all the keys to all of this. This is another example of amateur golfers. Let's see. Completely unedited. So I don't think we need to go through another one of these, but you guys see what's going on here?
It's a great example. Thank you, John.
Yeah, the chat is, I've said this before, it's only as good as what you put in. This is like a computer. It's garbage in, garbage out. If you ask a simple question, you'll get a simple answer. Simple answers are not going to sell your stuff. You really need to understand what's driving your avatar. What are they thinking? I've said this over and over. What are they thinking? What's keeping them up at night? What are they laying in bed thinking?
Got a question for you, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Rashid.
What would it take to get a copy of that?
I knew that was going to come up.
Well, you should read the chat and take a moment and just read all the
All the comments in the chat.
Yeah, you need to read those, John. They're very important.
Oh shit! I haven't been paying attention to that. Yeah, I'm sure there was misspellings in there. The cool thing about doing a prompt, the chat doesn't care if it's misspelled. It knows what you're talking about. So you don't have to be anal with your prompts. What you have to be is thorough. Don't fret over it not being perfect. Fret over it not being thorough. Right? The chat gets it. It knows what you want. But you've got to really tell it how deep you want to go. So the first people that are actually going to get shared the prompts and the set and all that, those are going to be the ones that go for that boat ride, and we go through it, and then we'll see about putting this together. I'm also working with a copywriter guy that's doing this stuff, and he is working with programmers to possibly come up with a program that I can license, where you just plug in some stuff and it outputs the stuff, so you don't need to know how to write the prompts. So we're trying to do it like I'm giving him the information from the ACT program, like, hey, I want this thing to 3-dimensionalize our benefits. I want this thing to overcome objections using Benjamin Franklin's formula. So we're going to create prompts around training the AI to use the ACT formula to build our campaigns. So Jim, yeah, go ahead.
Just wondering if you have a date yet for the boat ride.
I don't. Here's the way I usually. This is going to sound odd, but I suck at picking dates. Like every time I pick a date, nobody can go. So I learned long ago that I don't pick my own dates for my stuff. I put it out to the community and I say, when would you guys like to go? And I'll take the furthest person that's coming. Like if somebody's coming from Europe, I'll say, when can you be here? And I'll base my date upon that. And every time I do that, everybody can show.
We loved the boat ride for all the boats parade at the holidays. That was fun.
Yeah, the Christmas parade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. Good stuff. So I'm gonna put out, if anybody wants like dates, like if you say, hey, I want to do this and here's when I can do it, just let me know, because that's typically the way I pick my dates on this stuff. So, and I just learned, if I pick the dates, you guys are gonna hate it.
Thank you, John. I gotta run.
All right,
Wonderful
cool.
call, like once again.
Awesome. All right. Anything else here? I know I'm probably not going to go out the whole 2 hours today. I got to take Barb in for a knee surgery, so she's having a little surgery this afternoon.
Oh, we'll pray for her. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a big thing. She had a torn meniscus, so they're going to fix her up, and she'll be down for a few days, but nothing.
Not fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be fun, but
Been through that.
John, have you zeroed in on a release date for the $2 lead program yet?
We are hoping that we have it within the next couple weeks.
I missed more than a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
It's getting very close. It's getting very, very close. What I can tell you though, a couple of things about the leads program. The guys that are familiar and good at cold email have had phenomenal results with it, that was the data I was looking for. A lot of people that were not familiar with cold email and didn't really know how to do it, they had poor results, which is totally expected. And the other thing that I got out of it was I was able to weed out the ones that really knew what they were doing. And I found at least one of them, that is willing to offer the service of doing this for you. So, and when I say doing it for you, I'm talking about the cold email program. like setting up the email sender, setting up the auto responses, setting up the headlines.
That's the Python thing? That's the
even-
Python guy?
Well, no, he is just strictly mechanical. I'm talking about somebody that knows marketing.
Oh, I thought that's what you sent over when you sent me the Python guy.
Yeah, the Python guy, I'm still waiting to find out if anybody's had good results with him.
I have a call in with him. I think it's tomorrow, but
Okay.
yeah, I think so. But I'd be looking for somebody to do the marketing and do all the stuff that I don't want to and do not know how to do.
Yeah. So the Python guy, he's more mechanical, technical.
Oh.
Like if you just need the emails sent, but I don't know that he's going to be able to write them for you.
Oh, then I probably don't need to talk to him. But okay, I'll wait for the person that I'm probably lazier than you. So yeah, I'll wait for whoever you're going to send me that'll take care of all the marketing and all the stuff for me.
Yeah. That is what I was really hoping for, was to have a good, solid provider of that.
And we don't have anybody yet?
I do. He's actually putting together his program to offer the service above what
Got
we're
it.
doing. So
Okay.
he will be ready when we're ready to release. He'll be ready to release also.
Okay, well, if he's ready before, let me know because I got to get my button given.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, his name is Lorenzo. So if you shoot me an email, just ask me about connecting you with Lorenzo, and I'll put you two together. So the other thing about the email stuff is when we do the launch, like Richard was talking about, we will have the affiliate program up ready to go on launch. So I'll let you guys know ahead of time. If you know anybody that would be interested in that, you can get them in and make the money on that. And as far as the program itself, it comes in 3 flavors. It comes in the buy it to use it for yourself, for your own site. It comes in an agency model where you're going to buy the leads and set up campaigns to sell them to other companies. So you could technically be your own agency behind the scenes. And then there's a white label version of it where you can actually sell access to it. You could sell the software under your own brand as though you made it yourself, as though it is your in-house proprietary brand. So it'll have those 3 levels of offering. So the thing that Richard was particularly interested in is like being an agency, running an agency and selling these leads to other companies. There is going to be a tremendous amount of money to be made in that realm. Whether you do white label or not doesn't matter. There's going to be a tremendous amount of people that are just hungry for these kind of leads. And that's what I found at Perry's event. I talked to, probably 10 to 12 people that they're either lead gen companies or they're buying a massive amount of data and leads from lead gen companies. And there's just like the amount of money that was flowing on a monthly basis for leads, it was just stifling. It was like, holy crap. So if you find one of those, like let's say you do some research or you know somebody that knows something, or knows somebody that knows somebody that is buying a bunch of leads or knows a lead gen outfit, and you make that connection, you could either be in the middle and sell them the leads. Like you buy the leads from us for $1.99, you could sell them to them for $2.99. It's still probably a fraction of what they're paying. And you could make a tremendous amount of money getting in the middle of that deal. If you don't want to be in the middle of the deal, you can just refer out the software and just make the affiliate commission on the software platform. So there's a lot of opportunity in that particular program. So
how does the affiliate make money off the software? Are they getting a piece of the leads, or how is that working?
The software is going to have a platform fee for access. So there's a one-time setup fee, and then there's a monthly access fee. And the reason that there is a setup fee is strictly for affiliates. And I know you guys probably have heard, you know, my methodology about how you price stuff like that to incentivize affiliates. Affiliates love a big bump on a front end sale. So what I did was I put a larger setup fee on the front end of it. So the affiliates would be incentivized to promote it hard, so they can get that big bump fee on the first sale. And then they also get, you know, a percentage of the back end as well. But it's the front end sales that really drives affiliates. So if you don't have a setup fee or some way for them to make a big chunk of money on the first sale, they're not going to be interested. So like, for instance, the white label, there's a $2,000 setup fee on the white label. Our system is completely automated, so it doesn't really cost me anything. There might be a little more support on it, but there's really no cost involved other than the support cost. So it's $2,000. The affiliate gets 50% of that. So it's $1,000 per sale for them to push that program. So, and then on the back end of it, it would be $497 a month for the white label, and the affiliate's going to be getting $125 a month on that sale. So if they were getting $125 on the first sale, they would not be interested. But since they're getting $1,000 on the first sale and then $125 a month, that they sink their teeth into. So that's priced for that. Like any of the beta testers and stuff, you guys won't be paying any of the setup fees because there's no setup fee. You guys, you know, I'll have special deals for anybody that's been helping out with the beta program. But just so you know, that's why it's priced that way. It's to drive the sales through the affiliates. So, and again, if you're doing your own programs, you should be thinking this way. Another thing I'm doing is just like I did with SitePop. What we're doing is when we'll do a webinar, for instance, on a Wednesday, we'll say, if you get in, if you make the purchase by Friday night at midnight, not only will we give you access to the program, we'll give you 3 months of service included. So they don't have to make their actual monthly payment for 3 months. So their setup fee covers the first 3 months if they buy before Friday night at midnight. That triggers a whole slew of sales Friday night. And then Saturday morning, you send out another email and you say, well, you missed out on the 3 months free, but we've extended it to Sunday, but it's only 2 months free. So you literally take that 1 month away from them, but you're still allowing them to get a special deal where they get 2 months free. We get a ton of orders at Sunday night. And then Monday morning, the email goes out, well, sorry, you missed the free, but you can still get in on it. You know, the good news is you can still get access to the program. You just don't get the free months. We set up a special page that gives access to the 3 months free, even after the timers have expired. And you'll find that you'll get a ton of people that will email you privately or private message you. Oh my God, I missed it. I was out of town. And they'll give you some bullshit sob story that's not true. And you can say, no problem. Here's a special secret link. Just don't give this to anybody, but it'll allow you to get the 3 months free. And you'll sell a ton of them that way. And you create a lot of really goodwill by doing that with your customers. So that's the whole secret to that system of how I do a webinar to sell the stuff. And in many cases, I'll position things to allow myself to be taken advantage of, or so seems like that. When you allow yourself or other people to take advantage of you by bending the rules or breaking the rules or whatever, and it's almost like a loophole that they get through, they feel really good about that. So, but by no means do I ever feel like I'm being taken advantage of when I open those opportunities. I'm doing it for a reason. So, and it's all about just making more sales with no more effort. So, cool stuff. All right.
Good planning, John. Not your first rodeo.
No, no, I've been doing this for a little bit. All right. Any other questions? I saw somebody had their hand up and it went down. I think it was Gregory.
Yeah. I was gonna be asking almost the same question, but there is a question that did pop up. The difference between agency level, we had the prior conversation in my session, and that of white label. So the agency is a resale service. So they'll like they'll say to their clients, like, we have this AI bot, however they want to describe it, and they go and they buy. A realtor comes to them and says, okay, I need house people, and they get the leads. But what I'm having the confusion or the unclarity is what's between price, other than price I know the agency is almost 1,000, the white label's 2,000. What is white label can rename their system? I'm so clarify me that, please, on the white label.
Yeah, the only difference between the agency and the white label is the ability to rebrand it. So they can put their logos on it. They can change the names of it. Like we call it Search AI and Site AI as the two product campaigns that you can create within it. They can even rename those.
Okay.
They can put their own logos on the program. They can resell it as their own program.
So then an agency, when they're doing the service, they still will have to adhere to the search site that the words you just mentioned. The agency, knows the agency still has to recognize that it's coming from the Limbacher laboratories.
Correct. And in a lot of cases, like what an agency will do, an agency will create a campaign for their client, but they don't give them access to the control panel. They just pump the leads over to them.
Right.
So they have the ability to give their client access to the control panel, but they don't have to.
So that's the thing we have to educate them, that for them to maintain control, and essentially for the software to maintain control, and they're not going to be paying the white label, then we just tell them don't go giving control to the clients to control, because they're going to undercut you. They're going to undermine your business.
Correct. So if you're just running an agency and you want to sell lead generation and not the software or access to the software, you could use it that way and stay in complete control and keep keep yourself protected.
No, of course.
But if you want to give access to the program and let them run their own campaigns, you probably want to do that under a white label, so they don't see, oh, I could just go buy this directly and cut you out.
Right. Okay. We'll learn more about the ins and outs and the details of that. But yes, this is starting to gel in my head, because time's coming.
And anybody that you're selling it to, they're going to get the difference. They're going to know how they're going to use it. And if they're going to sell access to the program, they're definitely going to want the white label for sure. Then they're going to know that. They're going to be very used to that. White labeling is a very common practice in software development. Most software developers, if they're selling to agencies, the agencies almost require them to white label it in most cases. So that'll be very familiar territory for them.
Okay. All right. This definitely is looking very exciting. Like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool stuff. We're looking forward to a spectacular year-end meeting and going over our successes for the year. So I remember last year I told you guys I was going to come out of the shadows and I was going to get a little more aggressive. And I was going to be more proud of my numbers this year than I was last year.
Does that mean the underperformers are going to be looking at a 2x4?
No, not at all. If they are, it's completely self-inflicted. That's the
Home Alone. It's Home Alone with a 2x4 on a piece of rope, and you walk down the staircase and it hits you.
that is the beauty of this. It's the ability for you to look back over the prior year and recognize what happened and why. And if you want next year to be the same, all you have to do is do the same thing you did last year. That's it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're not happy, all you have to do is change it. That's it. You will get the outcome of your efforts. And in my case, I like to keep my efforts low and my output high. So that's one of my featured goals in life is minimum input, maximum output. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great week.
Okay.
We'll be back at you next week, and hopefully.
Thank you, John. Happy recuperating for
Thank
Barbara.
you, John.
Yeah, if you guys have
Thanks,
any
John.
dates you would like to do that thing on the boat, shoot them over to me, and we'll pick something and make it happen.
A whole bunch in the chat.
All right, I'll have to check that out. All right, guys, have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Okay,
John.
okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.